All right, our next guest is a voting rights advocate and a former Georgia state representative who is once again throwing her hat in the ring as candidate for governor of the Peach State.
But she's also a New York Times best-selling author and has a brand new children's book. It's called Stacey's Extraordinary Words. Let's welcome back to the program, Stacey Abrams. Good to see you once again. We're certainly going to get into the book. We have copies right here with us, but we got to ask you about this. You're jumping back into the race, all right? You're going to go at it again. Now, there's back and forth in semantics, and your opponents want to say you never conceded the other race. Clearly, you said that Kemp is the governor, but beyond that, you did say it wasn't a fair fight, and you said it was rigged against the people, the voters of Georgia. A lot of work has been done since then. Can you say it'll be a fair fight this time?
We're going to work hard to make certain that it is fair, but we know that that's going to take federal action. Georgia is one of the states that have moved post-insurrection to undermine voting rights laws and to not only increase voter suppression, but to also increase subversion of democracy. However, we have a goal in sight, and that's the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Together, those bills will make it safer and more secure to vote across this country. It will guarantee that there's a minimum set of standards no matter where you live. Democracy will mean the same thing. And that's what it means to be in the United States of America, that no matter who you are and who you vote for, that your access is the same. And that's what we're going to be fighting for in Georgia and across the country.
You're fighting for it. What are the chances are that you're actually going to pass those bills to overturn that restrictive voting bill?
We know that Senator Schumer, Leader Schumer in the U.S. Senate, has moved fast and hard to ensure that 2022 is the year that we secure voting rights for all. We saw an extraordinary speech on the floor yesterday by one of our newly elected senators, Senator Raphael Warnock, who was elected on this day a year ago. And he, along with Jon Ossoff, are the reason we've seen such dramatic progress in our country. And I believe that the work they're doing on voting rights, especially the work being done by Senator Warnock and Leader Schumer, and as well as the other Democrats, will mean that we finally have a patriotic act to, I believe, blunt the effect of the insurrection in 2021 by saying that in 2022 we will protect our democracy.
Stacey, though, there is a lot of hostility out there on both sides of the aisle. How do you combat that? How do you bring people together? How do you reach across the aisle and work together for the people of Georgia, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent?
For 7 years, I served as the Democratic leader in the House, but part of my job was to recognize that I couldn't get anything done unless I could work with the other side. And I had a very good reputation for being able to bring both sides together on critical issues that matter. But more than that, we have to guarantee that access to the fundamentals of our democracy are available to everyone. I fight for voting rights not to get elected, but because I believe in elections. And I believe every Georgian, every American who is eligible to vote should be able to cast the ballot for the candidate of their choice. As a Democrat, I'm going to fight to make sure that when I'm on the ballot and when my colleagues are on the ballot that we win, but we're going to win in a fair fight by making sure that everyone who wants to vote and is eligible to vote can vote. They can vote securely, but they can also vote without unnecessary barriers and without being told that their votes don't matter.
And is this a little Stacey we have on the cover of this book here? Stacey's Extraordinary Words. It's kind of based on your story here in that you were like to compete in spelling bees when you were a kid, but you had something to get over, if you will, as you competed. How much of this is your story?
It's very much based on my story. I changed the words a little bit, although I have my PTSD word is in there, one of the words I missed in a spelling bee. But the point of the book is to talk about the importance of perseverance, of having a goal, being willing to meet it, but also understanding that language, that words themselves can be buoyant and fun and can help you create the worlds that you want to live in. I was blessed to have a mother who was a librarian and a father who was a storyteller. And from the youngest age, I understood the comfort, but also the courage of words. And I wanted to share that with young readers.
Stacey, in the author's note, you write, not only were words my companions, they were also my protectors. Is that true today? And what do you want kids to know about the power of the written word and the spoken word?
We have to be careful with our words, and I try very intentionally to pick words that mean what I intend to say. But I also want us to understand that we make mistakes, that we stumble. And when that happens, we have the opportunity to use our words to stand up again, to fix what we've broken, to make apologies. this book and hopefully the way I live my life exemplifies that words are a comfort to some, but they're also an opportunity to build the kind of world we want. And I want young kids and the parents reading them these books to understand the importance of words and the importance of reading about stories that aren't always the happiest endings, but always have a strong ending that leads to a new beginning.
How often do you use the word instantaneous now?
Well, I will say that is a word I have not misspelled, although there is a word in there that was my day, that was
Which one was
my
it?
nemesis. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I grew up in Mississippi.
It was instantaneous.
I didn't realize that. No, chocolate. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't make myself relive it completely. But
Stacey
I grew up in
Abrams.
Mississippi. I didn't know chocolate had an extra O. It just didn't make sense.
That's great.
It's also Mississippi, right? So, Stacey's Extraordinary Words is available now wherever books are sold. Stacey Abrams, thank you for being with us. We always appreciate it when you come on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You just gave her opponents fuel. And in her debate, they're just going to throw chocolate in there.
Chocolate.
She's going to throw
It's
off.
her trigger word.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.